And so today they had a chance to look and see the property where the murders happened, where Paul and Maggie were killed. As we continue our team coverage now, we bring in News 19 Sam Perez. Sam, you sat in the courtroom, or did not sit in the courtroom today, but you have been following along with this trial minute by minute, day by day. What was it like today?
Yes, absolutely, Darcy. So prosecuting attorney Creighton Waters started with his closing statement after the jury got back from Moselle. So that was a little bit before 12:15 today. And then he had to break for lunch, and then they came back at 2:20 p.m. to continue. And now he just wrapped up those closing statements a little bit over an hour ago. So he really took all day to present that. He started out the morning by explaining to the jury that it's the prosecution's job to prove malice aforethought, and he reminded them that he's trying to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Alex-Murdaugh murdered his wife and son. He says this means that in order to say Murdaugh is guilty, jurors should be firmly convinced of his guilt and be able to rely on the evidence to prove that. Then Waters explained what it is not.
But it doesn't have to overcome every possible doubt. Sometimes people in common discussions will say, oh, the case is just circumstantial. But the law says that doesn't matter. The circumstantial evidence can be just as good as direct evidence. It is just as good. It makes no distinction between that, and the judge will charge you on that. How do you do that?
He's trying to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Murdaugh had the motive, the means, and the opportunity to kill his wife Maggie and his son Paul on June 7th, 2021. When it comes to motive, Waters is saying Murdaugh was in debt, on the verge of having his financial records exposed. This exposure would have revealed he had been stealing money from clients for nearly a decade. For means, Waters pointed out the large number of guns the Murdaughs had on their hunting property. And finally, Waters says Murdaugh had the opportunity for the murders because he was alone with them and used his knowledge as a prosecutor to craft an alibi that seemed convincing until investigators began looking deeper. Now, Waters did this by laying out the timeline and also the times that Murdaugh has lied repeatedly to investigators. He did that to seemingly say to the jury, Murdaugh lied to these investigators, so therefore he could be lying sitting across from you right now. Now, this trial has been the talk of the town, and I'm joined with reporter Rachel Ripp, who spent today talking to some different people from Walterboro in the local area. Now, Rachel, what did you hear?
Yeah, so absolutely. It's been the talk of the town. People have been glued to their computer screens, their TVs, if not inside of the courtroom for all of those proceedings for themselves. I spoke with a couple from Beaufort, a couple from Charleston. I talked to also a woman from Yemassee, and they've all, again, been following this trial very, very closely. Now, Tawanda Garrett, a woman from the town of Yemassee, she tells me she's been live streaming the trial nearly every day. She says she knows people personally who used Alec as their personal injury lawyer and had trouble receiving the money they were owed. Garrett says she has been heavily interested in this case. Now, a man I met today from the Beaufort area, he told me that he worked for the telephone company in Hampton County, and he said that he actually serviced some phones for Buster Murdaugh, Alec's grandfather. Now, a lot of these people that I spoke with today, all of them are just seeking justice in this trial. Reporting live in Walterboro, Rachel Ripp.